Welcome to the InTime Timesheet Limited Workers Guide. In this presentation, we will go through the following topics. How to get started. This will cover the information about your link and your login details. The home page with its different tabs. My details, where you can amend your personal details and view your company details. Creating and submitting your timesheets. Here we will take a look at the different states of timesheets and take you through the process of creating a draft timesheet, amending a draft timesheet, and submitting a draft timesheet. Creating and submitting your expenses, checking your submitted timesheet and/or expenses for approval, explaining the process of correcting and resubmitting your timesheet or expenses in case they have been rejected, matching up advice notes with invoices, contacting us and requesting forms. At the end of this presentation, you will be able to submit and amend your timesheet and expenses and navigate your way through the system. Let's get started. To access InTime, open the web browser. This is likely to be either Internet Explorer, Firefox or Chrome. Once opened, enter your InTime service address into the location bar or address bar. You will have received this by email direct from InTime, along with your login details, so expect an email from payroll@velocity-intech.com. Once the InTime site is opened, you will be prompted for your username and password. Click Login. This will take you to your main InTime homepage. The navigation menu is located across the top of the page, starting with the Home menu tab on the left. Each tab comes with its own drop-down list. The main ones you will be using are Timesheet, which provides access to new, drafts and previously submitted timesheets. Expenses, similar to the timesheet menu, but for expenses. Profile, which will give you the details of your client and your placement. My Details is where you can update your contact details, your password, and your limited company details. Contact Us is where you will get our contact details and where you can access any forms you may require. The main use of InTime is to submit timesheets and expenses, and also to check on their approval status. The first tab we're going to look at is My Details. By clicking and selecting Personal Details, you can change your email address, phone number, mobile number. It also allows you to view and check your bank details, although you cannot edit them. To change your password, click on Change Password. This will bring up a box where you need to enter the current password, then your new password, confirm it and save. Now your new password can be used. Remember to keep it safe and confidential. Here you can also monitor your company details, changing the email address if required. Please contact your recruitment consultant if you want to change any of your company details. The last option is Clear My Notification. Once this has been activated, it cannot be reversed. We recommend that you do not activate this, as this will notify you of any timesheets or expenses that have been rejected and inform you of what action to be taken. Before we go into the details of entering information into your timesheet, you need to be aware of the different states of timesheet and expenses claims. These are draft. A draft timesheet is one that you have created and saved, but not yet submitted. The draft option is not available to expenses. Submitted. A submitted timesheet or expenses is one that you have created and submitted for approval. Submitted timesheets and expenses cannot be modified, so please take a moment to ensure the details are correct before submitting. Approved. An approved timesheet or expenses is one that has been approved by your manager for payment. Rejected. A rejected timesheet or expenses claim is one that has been rejected by your manager. This is usually because of incorrect hours or an expense detail. Now, let's look at entering your timesheet. Click on Timesheet and select Create. Here you'll be prompted to select the placement. That's the current position that you wish to enter the worked times against. The next box requires the week ending date. The week ending date is the Sunday of the week you are claiming. By clicking on the calendar icon next to the date box, you can select the correct date. Once you have done this, click OK to proceed. You will now be presented with your electronic timesheet. The top 3 sections should appear closed. To open them, click on the arrow. The first section is entitled Timesheet Information. Here you will see the timesheet identification number. This is a unique number generated for this timesheet and can be used to monitor the timesheet's progress through the process. It will also contain your name, the date you're entering the information, as well as the weekend date, your rates of pay, and your approving manager's details. Section 2 is entitled Placement Participants. This section contains the information of the client, that's who you're working for, your line manager, and your recruitment consultant. Section 3 is entitled Placement Information. Here you will find the details of your current assignment, your job title, your start date, and again your timesheet approver's details. Section 4 is the electronic version of your timesheet. This can appear in different formats depending on your contract. If you are hourly paid, you will need to enter your start and finish time and any unpaid breaks in the line Basic. If you have any additional hours, overtime, click on the plus sign and a second line will appear. Now click on the arrow and select the rate. Then add the additional hours in the line. If you have a day rate contract, you will be presented with a decimal box in the day column. Here, enter 1 for a day work, 0.5 for half a day, and so on. After saving your timesheet, you will be reminded that your timesheet has been saved but not submitted, and you will be provided with 3 more options. The Finish button. You will be prompted that your timesheet has been saved but not submitted. You have now created a draft timesheet. It will at this stage ask if you'd like to enter any relevant expenses. Here you can fill in the required fields. Now click Submit. This will bring up a pop-up to ask are you happy with your expenses claim. Click Submit. Although you have submitted your expenses claim, you have not submitted your timesheet. If you have no expenses, click No and return to the home page. Here, by going to the timesheet drop-down, you will see that the draft has now got a 1 beside it. By clicking on it, it will open up the saved but not submitted timesheet. By selecting the timesheet identification number, your timesheet will open up, and here you can add, amend the previous information you have entered. The Edit button. This allows you to make changes to your draft timesheet before submitting it. The Submit button. The Submit button will submit your draft timesheet for approval to your timesheet approver. Please take some time to check that the information you have entered is correct. And when you are totally happy with your timesheet, click the Submit button. You will be presented with a warning stating that once submitted, you will not be able to modify this timesheet again. Click OK. Again, it will remind you that once submitted, this timesheet cannot be changed. Are you sure you want to do this? Click Yes. Your timesheet has now gone for approval. Now, let's look at expenses. If you are submitting expenses at the same time as your timesheet, you will have already done this. But if you are submitting expenses on their own, select Claim from the drop-down. Again, just like your timesheet, you will be asked to select the placement you wish to claim against and the date or period that the expenses cover. Enter your expenses. If you need any additional rows, click Add Row. Click Save. This will allow you now either to edit or to submit your claim. Submit will send your claim to your manager for approval. If your timesheet or expenses have been rejected, you will receive a notification from your approver. Select Rejected from the Timesheet drop-down and your timesheet will appear. Open the Timesheet Information. Here you will see the reason for rejection. Please amend accordingly and resubmit your timesheet. Follow the same procedure for expenses. If you are a self-billed limited company, you have no further action to take, as your advice note and your invoice will be generated for you. If you are a non-self-billed limited company, you will receive an email to say that your advice note has been generated. All you need to do now is to match your advice note with an invoice. To do this, click on Invoicing and select Advice Note from the drop-down. Here, by selecting the tab ID Ref Ranges and entering the ID of the timesheet and click Search, this will bring up the relevant advice note that the invoice needs to be matched to. By clicking on the advice note number, this will open up the advice note. Scroll to the header called Document on the right-hand side of the screen and upload. This page will open up. Add your invoice number and the description of the invoice. And if your invoice is a Flash file, select Flash and browse your disk to find your invoice, click Upload. If the upload is not successful using the option Flash, the progress bar will remain red and there will be no message showing that the upload was successful. If this happens, click Non-Flash. This will help you upload your file. Click Browse to locate your file, then Upload. When your file is successfully uploaded, you will see a successful notice. If you do not manage to get your invoice uploaded, please contact us, as without the invoice your payment will be delayed until the invoice is received. The last tab we're going to look at is Contact Us. On the drop-down, the first one is Agency Details. This gives Intech's address and all contact details. The second option is Forms. Here, there is a list of forms available that you can request. Thank you. If you have any questions, please refer to the Frequently Asked Questions link, or do not hesitate to contact your recruitment consultant. Thank you.